This is Unit 2, Week 3, the Bill of Rights, question number 2 through 4. So, what right is protected by the Second Amendment? The right to bear arms, or not the right to arm bearers. It's a little bit different. Anyways, it's horribly written grammatically. It says a free militia being necessary to the protection of a free state, it's like it implies kind of that presumably you can't take away the gun from a militia, but it's not clear whether the antecedent refers to militia or not. So essentially the courts have decided that you have the right to weapons and to possess guns and weapons in the United States, and the government can't take those away from you. It's been quite controversial, certainly. Conservative activists, certainly the National Rifle Administration Association, wants to defend and protect this right to bear arms. Although it appears, if you look at it, it might be that militias were supposed to be able to have guns, but it's not clear. It's come to be right to a weapon. All right, the Third Amendment is kind of irrelevant. It was a big deal at the time. No quartering of soldiers in people's homes without their consent. It's basically no quartering act, which was really something that bothered the citizens during the American Revolutionary period and the period just before. Today, it's kind of no one debates the Third Amendment. It's there, but it's not really an issue. What's a search warrant and what must it include? Right, the Fourth Amendment, your right against unreasonable searches and seizures by the federal government. It says that if the government is going to have a right to investigate your home or your private property, they need to get a judge to sign off on a search warrant, unless you just invite them in. And the search warrant has to have something indicating probable cause. Over time, of course, the courts have decided what does that mean, but essentially there has to be adequate, sufficient evidence to imply that an investigation of your home or your private property or possessions is warranted. And then, of course, that warrant has to say what is to be looked for, what item is to be searched or seized. For example, there's all kinds of controversy. If evidence is obtained illegally in a crime, in a criminal investigation, it can't be used in court. Or the courts have hedged over time towards police rights versus citizens' protections, but also can the police take something if they have a warrant that says look for the drugs in room number 3, but as they're walking by in room number 2, they see a huge collection of child pornography? Do they have a right to decide that there's a second crime going on here? We happen to see these. Can we seize those without a warrant to look for those? And that really has depended upon the court's interpretation, whether it sides with the rights of the police versus the rights of the citizens to be protected from unreasonable searches. And that's it from the Happy House of History for questions, amendments 2 through 4.